Richard Sorge is considered one of the most skilled spies in German history. He was a Soviet and communist agent and gained widespread fame in the world of espionage thanks to the intelligence he gathered during World War II. He saved Russia from the complete Nazi occupation of Moscow and was a key factor in the end of World War II and the defeat of Hitler. He had a limp, but he was the most skilled and intelligent spy known to mankind. He mastered several languages and possessed numerous connections and skills. He was the secret to the Caliphate's victory over the Axis powers and was the true founder of espionage and many other deceptions. The intelligence world knew him as the spy Richard Sorge, and he was called Richard Sorge. Sorge was born on October 4, 1895, in the Sabunji suburb of Baku, Azerbaijan, part of the Russian Empire. His father was a German who worked for an Asian oil company, and his mother was Russian. Sorge was the ninth and youngest child in his family. His family moved to Berlin, and Sorge received his education in Germany. After the outbreak of World War II, Sorge continued his education in Germany. In 1914, Sorge joined the German army at the age of 18. After 2 years of service, he was severely wounded. Shrapnel amputated 3 fingers and broke both legs, leaving him disabled for life. The army awarded him the Iron Cross for these severe combat injuries. During Sorge's recovery, reading was his favourite pastime. He read Karl Marx and delved deeply into communism, becoming familiar with it and deciding to study economics at the University of Berlin and the University of Hamburg. This was during the war. Despite the ongoing war, Sorge earned a doctorate from the University of Hamburg in political science in 1900. He later began teaching at the university, but after his communist political views were exposed, he was dismissed from his post. He then worked in a coal mine and At that time, Sorge decided to join the Soviet Union and travelled to Moscow. There, he became a trained intelligence agent. He also worked as a German journalist, using journalism as a cover to conceal his alleged spy. He continued his training for 5 years, gaining a wealth of experience and skills, which he mastered with amazing speed, surprising the Soviets. He also mastered languages such as English, French, Russian, Japanese, and some Chinese. Sorge was sent to several European countries to evaluate the communist revolutions there. Between 1920 and 1922, Sorge decided to settle in Germany, where he met Christine Gerlach. They decided to continue their lives together and marry. They left Germany and went to live in Moscow. In 1929, they separated. This was because Sorge was busy with his work and joined the Russian Secret Service, which was affiliated with the Red Army, leaving Gerlach alone all the time. His first serious assignment was when he was sent to Britain to study the labour movement there and also to learn about the British Communist Party. The press provided him with good coverage. In 1919, Sorge was sent to China to work for a German newspaper specialising in Chinese agricultural affairs. During this period, he met the spy Max Close and the Japanese journalist Haruko Ishii. Sorge fell in love with her and decided to marry her. However, the real mission for which Sorge went to China was to rehabilitate the Soviet spy network. Thanks to his intelligence and acumen, he obtained all the necessary information and rebuilt that network. It was called the Chinese Unit, and it became one of the most powerful networks. Soviet espionage units around the world decided to put Sorge's remarkable skills to good use in another field. Sorge returned to Moscow, this time with a new wife, Katya, whom he had married in China. During this time, he wrote a book on Chinese agriculture, which he claimed to have worked on while there. Shortly thereafter, he embarked on another assignment, even more dangerous than the first. This was considered the most important of Sorge's life, and perhaps even the most important in the history of Soviet intelligence itself. His mission was to establish a spy network in Japan. In September 1933, Sorge arrived in Yokohama. While Sorge had no connections to the Communist Party in Japan or even the Soviet embassy there, after spending several months in Japan, he succeeded in establishing a spy network in Japan. Afterward, Sorge asked the KGB for $3,000 a month. At the time, this was considered a huge sum. Despite this, the KGB agreed to this request, recognizing that Sorge's network was worth the sacrifice and the money. His strong relationship with the military attaché at the German embassy, Eugene, helped him gain everyone's trust. Eugene trusted Sorge blindly, but Sorge was not worthy of his friend's trust. The military attaché's wife became one of Sorge's mistresses. Despite this, Sorge's spy network achieved its first success when it informed the Soviets of Japan's intention to occupy Manchuria, China. Indeed, Japan occupied Manchuria and all of northern China. When the Japanese army seized control of a vast swath of strategic territory, Sorge sent a message stating that the Japanese army was about to revolt in February 1936. The revolt occurred at the time indicated in Sorge's message. This revolt was called the February Incident. For these reasons, the Soviets realized the importance and danger of their agent, Richard Sorge, and he was classified as a rare agent. In 1939, World War II broke out, and Sorge was the most dangerous and powerful Soviet intelligence agent in the world. The Japanese network he established became one of the most active in the history of intelligence. At that time, Hitler signed a mutual defense pact with Moscow. Meanwhile, Sorge had obtained information indicating that Germany would soon attack the Soviet Union. Stalin doubted the information Sorge provided. The big surprise came in July 1941, when Operation Barbarossa began, invading the Soviet Union. This coincided with Sorge revealing his secrets. The Soviets were confident in their agent's reliability and immense power. At that time, the Japanese network's activity was at its peak, and the information it collected began to flow to Moscow. Therefore, Moscow was fully aware of all Japanese secrets. Moscow's only concern at the time was that Japan would take advantage of the war between the Soviets and the Nazis and wage war against them. So, Sorge worked tirelessly to obtain. In response to this question, Sorge actually obtained the most dangerous piece of information in his history. Japan had no intention of waging any war against the Soviet Union and was content with its wars in China and Indochina. This information was invaluable, and Sorge passed this crucial information to Moscow. Due to Moscow's trust in Sorge and rumors about his rich history with the Soviets, the Soviet leadership made a fateful decision. Stalin decided to withdraw over 2 million troops from the Siberian front, along with all their equipment, and send them to confront the Germans in the west. This was one of the most dangerous decisions made in the history of World War II. The Japanese front was left completely bare, placing the entire burden on the German front. Many historians consider Sorge's letter to Stalin, which was no more than 200 words long, the main reason for the end of World War II and the reason Hitler tasted the bitterness of defeat. This was because the Soviets concentrated all their forces on the German Western Front, and this was the first defeat of the German army. The information he obtained was considered a turning point in the course of World War II. As a result, Germany was defeated by Moscow's soldiers and retreated until it was finally defeated. This was considered Sorge's greatest victory in his espionage career, and with it, his career ended. Japan discovered his true identity, and he was arrested on October 21, 1941. After his arrest, Sorge attempted to confess but was subjected to severe torture, forcing him to admit that he was a German spy. However, Germany denied any connection to him, and he was tortured again, only more severely. Unable to bear it, Sorge confessed to being a German spy. Sorge was a spy for the Soviet Union, and despite his confession and the brutal torture he endured, he was certain that his leader, Stalin, would not leave him in Japanese hands. He knew he would replace him with another spy or prisoner. His predictions came true. Japan made 3 proposals to the Soviet Union to replace Sorge with a Japanese spy. However, disaster struck. The Soviet government rejected the offer, claiming they did not know his whereabouts. Stalin also handed him over so he would not be a witness to their actions. Sorge continued to be imprisoned in Japan. On November 7, 1944, Sorge was executed by firing squad. Thus ended the story of the most dangerous spy the world has ever known. Richard Sorge, who was instrumental in ending World War II and defeating Nazi Germany.